Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another Brawl Stars video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the March Championship Challenge and the best brawlers that you can pick for every map, as well as some strategy to go along with them, which star powers and gadgets that you should be considering using. And all of these picks are coming from the global #1 Power League player, Spin LC. And if you don't know who Spin LC is, be sure to go check out his channel. He's an amazing player. He just hit 100,000 subscribers, so big congrats to you, Spin, and thanks for the help. So in this Championship Challenge, the very first set that you're going to come into here is Gym Grab and Minecart Madness. Kind of a crazy map, and try not to get hit by trains. I'm really great at doing that. The best brawlers that you can play here are going to be Stu, Sprout or Byron, and Ruffs or 8-Bit. Stu is actually really cracked right now. He's really good, especially if you're a pretty good player. The mobility and the being able to stun people and the helping your teammate out with your station as well. He's really, really great. So feel free to use Stu through most of this guide. Now, in this particular comp, Stu is going to be playing in the lane, and in the mid, you're going to either be playing Sprout or Byron, and then on another lane, Ruffs or 8-Bit. Now, one caution here is that using Sprout, although he's probably the best brawler on this map, you may be going up against some tanks early on here in the Championship Challenge, because the players with less experience, they usually gravitate towards some players that, you know, some tankier brawlers that are a little bit easier to play. So Sprout might be a little bit more of a risky play, but he is a tremendous brawler. Wait, it is? Whatever Sprout is, it's a tremendous brawler on this map. So feel free to use Sprout, especially if you're really good with him. Does really great here. Now, if you play Byron with 8-Bit, you get a great potential because of the turret, not only the healing and the damage potential with Byron and 8-Bit together. You've got tons of range, tons of damage, and healing on top of that. They make a really great tandem on this map. As for Colonel Ruffs, well, you can pretty much play him anywhere you want as well, because he is so good. Now, one note here is that you're going to probably want to use your super to boost your teammates before you boost yourself, especially if you're in a good position. Be sure to get your teammates all jacked up on the goofball. That's a thing. Some other good brawlers that you can play in the mid here are going to be Max and Poco. Both do really well. And this map actually lends itself to a lot of variety in the brawlers. So there's a lot of brawlers who are pretty good on this map. Very few that are really bad. For some other good brawlers that, that you can pick to, run the lanes, you could use Sandy, BB, Mr. P, Jesse, Colette, or even Mortis if you wanted to go really aggro, and would work really well against other teams if they had throwers. But again, this is the first round. You may run up against some tanks, and Mortis may have some pretty bad matchups. So play him at your own risk of peril. Now, as for some brawlers you probably do not want to play, brawlers like El Primo, Lou, and Dynamite, probably not the best choices. Dynamite's not horrible. Lou's not horrible either, but it's just there's better options. Now, I will say, play brawlers that you feel comfortable with. So if we listed out some brawlers here that were considered really good picks for this map, maybe not the best, but really good, but you feel really comfortable with them, you play them really well, that's a better pick than to pick a brawler that is the best brawler for this map, but one that you play really poorly. Especially early on, play brawlers that you feel really comfortable with. Now, after you win Gym Grab, the next mode up is going to be Bounty, and the map is Shooting Star. Now, the best team comp that you can play here is going to be Nani, Tick, and Byron. Nani is kind of like the, put her on a pedestal. Editor, put in angelic singing. And this is for a number of reasons. Not only does she have tons of range, but also her super can kill brawlers from the other side of the map. And then her brand new gadget, autofocus, basically allows her to just mitigate so much damage and get it back to the other team that Nani is the best pick that you can choose right here. Although Byron and Tick are both incredibly useful as well, and they both do really great. Now, Byron or Nani, you can play either on the left or the right-hand side, but Nani's probably better on the right-hand side just because of the open space, but Byron can play there well too. Nani can play on the other side. The main thing here is that you play Tick in the center, right behind that front wall. He's going to be able to choke off the left, the middle, and the right, holding back people, especially now that his attack has been spread out. It covers more area denial, and it's really going to help out your team. Tick is a great choice here. Some other good brawlers that you can play in the mid here are going to be Sprout, Mr. P, and Brock. Now, Brock has a little bit of a cheat code because if you use rocket fuel, you can bust open that wall that the other enemy is going to be standing beside, which gives your team a lot more open area to fire on without the other team having cover. So if you're going to be using Brock here, which SG is a great pick. Be sure to break open that wall in the center there. That way it doesn't allow the other team to hide. And if you don't have a thrower on your team and you get pushed back and they're camping behind your wall, well, you can break your wall too and open up the entire map. Really make use of that long range. A couple other really good picks here are going to be, of course, Piper, always good on this map, and Max is actually pretty decent as well. Now, some brawlers that you do not want to play here are brawlers like El Primo, Terra, Shelly. None of those brawlers are going to work very well. They may work okay in certain team comps that are high pressure, but their short range and their inability to deal damage at any sort of long range is their big downfall here because it's a wide open map. So stay away from brawlers like that. The next mode is going to be Siege, and the map is going to be Nuts and Bolts. And according to Spin, the best brawlers that you can play here are going to be Stu, Ruffs, and Barley. Now, Barley has actually made quite a bit of a comeback here to the Siege meta, and he works really good on this map. But of course, as I said before, Stu and Ruffs both are great, incredible brawlers in this meta. Feel free to play them wherever you can. Now for Barley, you can pretty much play either gadget. Both have their strengths and weaknesses. If you play the slowing gadget, be sure to use that gadget once the enemy's team's siege bot has entered into your Ike's range of fire. That way it slows him down, gives your Ike more time to deal damage on that, as well as keeps the enemy from following right behind the bot. Now with this comp, Barley's probably going to be playing in the middle, probably either in the grass right there or back behind those walls. And as for the lanes, it doesn't really matter. Either brawler can go in either lane. Maybe whenever the other team's spawning, you'll be able to see which brawler is going to be coming down your lane. You can pick the best matchup, but either way, it doesn't really matter. Stu can use his gadget to give your team an extra, boost to be able to get back into the match quicker. So if he drops that back near the spawn, that would be a good thing. Some other good picks here are going to be BB, Mr. P, Max, Amber, Sandy, Jackie, Jean, or Tick. So again, there's going to be a lot of brawlers that can work pretty well. Pick a brawler that you're comfortable with and wreck the competition. Now, there is one brawler that's kind of a wild card here, and that's Lou. He's not the strongest brawler, but his super, if you save it when the other team has a siege bot coming down and put it down right in front of your water, that siege bot will just move forward, stuck against the water, and it will never touch your Ike. So it's like a guaranteed defense if you use Lou, but he's going to, struggle in some other areas, but he's still a pretty solid pick here. Now, some picks you do not want to go with here are brawlers like Crow, Edgar, and Shelly. Edgar's not horrible, but you're probably going to run up against some brawlers, especially how tight people are going to be grouped here. You're not going to get those, one-on-one kill opportunities very often, and that just makes Edgar a little bit weak here. Next up, we have Hot Zone, and the map is called Split. The best team comp that you can play here is going to be Stu, Tick, and Colonel Ruffs. Now, it's an interesting team comp because Tick is going to be playing in the middle, and he's going to kind of be covering the left or the right. Whichever one of your teammates needs the most help, that's what you can do. Ruffs is going to be going over to the right-hand side, and he's just going to plant himself there, keep anybody coming from around that little choke point in there. He can bounce his shots off the walls. He can throw his power-ups to his teammates. He can put down his gadget. He's going to be doing really well just to hold that right side pretty easily. And the right side is easier to take control of over the left-hand side, so be sure to secure that one. As for Stu, he's going to go over onto the left-hand side because he can win so many 1v1 matchups against other brawlers that he can get in there, get a shot, dash in, stun, shot, dash in, stun, and he can win pretty much any 1v1 matchup. Some other brawlers that you can play here are going to be ones like Mr. P, Surge, Edgar, BB, Rico, and Jesse. Rico is really interesting because if you play him on the right-hand side, you can kind of hug that wall, bouncing shots off the outside and through that choke point, and it makes it incredibly difficult for any brawlers to be able to make it through there. Same thing with Jessie. She can put down a turret and hold that area so well. Now, if you're feeling spicy, there is one really interesting strategy that's been shared with me, and that is to use Gale, BB, and Colonel Ruffs. Again, Colonel Ruffs is going to be on the right-hand side. Gale's going to be in the middle. BB's going to be charging into the left-hand side, but here's the catch is that you use Gale in a jump pad to spring BB over the left-hand wall and into that zone, creating a ruckus, and even if she's only in there for just a little bit, if she doesn't win, she's still gaining points towards it while Ruffs and Gale hold down the right-hand side. Should be a pretty interesting strategy. Try that one if you like. Now, as for some brawlers you do not want to play, brawlers that don't do well at close range usually are the ones here that you're going to want to stay away from. Ones like Crow, Piper, and B, probably not the best choices, especially probably not Piper, but some of the other brawlers you can get to work, especially if you're a good player, which actually last time I put out the brawlers that don't play, and Spin took all those brawlers and he won with them 15-0. And for the last mode in the championship challenge, it's going to be Brawl Ball on the best map in Brawl Stars, and that is Sneaky Fields. Now, according to Spin, the best team comp that you can play here is going to be Jessie or Max, along with Rosa and Amber. Now, Rosa is pretty much just like the perfect brawler for this map, because especially with the addition of her new gadget, she's going to be able to hit that, which will reveal everybody in the grass and slow them down, giving your team the opportunity to wipe them out and get the ball in some pretty easy scores, especially if you use Max along with them. Max's speed plus Rosa and her shield and just the brute force of it all is a really, really tough combo to hold back. So Max, Rosa, and Amber are probably going to be the best comp for you on this map. You want to play Jessie or Max in the mid with Rosa and Amber on the lanes. Amber does really well because, again, all the lanes are pretty choked and she can really hold those off, as well as her super. If you're playing against another Rosa, you can throw that super down, burn the grass. That gives Rosa less of an opportunity to really, thrive. So Max, Rosa, and Amber. Now, some other good brawlers that you can play in the mid to replace Max or Jessie would be Byron, Poco, or Jean. And as for the lanes, Colonel Ruffs, Stu, Nita, or Mr. P are all great choices. As for some brawlers you do not want to play, I would stay away from Crow, Piper, Dynamite. Dynamite could do decent, but he doesn't have much room to run, and if somebody gets on you in the grass, you're pretty much dead. So stay away from Crow, Dynamite, and Piper. So there you guys have it. Those are the best picks for the Brawl Stars Championship here in March in 2021. Once again, big thanks to Spin for lending his expertise and knowledge for all of these to give us the best picks, give us the best chance of winning. Even if you don't win, hey, at least you're going to be getting some free star points, and that's always a good thing. Although I will say this, be sure to play in a team. Don't play with randoms. Frank actually tweeted out that of everybody who played the championship challenge, 80% of the people who won were in a team. Only 10% were used the looking for team feature, and 10% were with randoms. So your chances go drastically up if you play in a team. Get your best friends. You know what? Just beg your best Brawl Stars player friends to carry you. That's what I'm going to do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Best of luck to you in the championship challenge. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.